By the way, on your way to my house, everyone needs to pick up something. Whether you pick up a soda, you pick up a cookie, everyone's supposed to bring something to add to the party. He's got his, I got mine. He made lasagna. All right. Fancy. All right.
Should I put the hand?
So yeah, we need. All right, let's go. Let's go. We gotta roll. She doesn't like it. All right. Yo. All right. I want to talk about PDI development. You guys are gonna run your cycle, right? So we talked about creating your cycle, getting recruits, you guys getting people. Any of your people, you get them in, train them. I mean, these are people, especially your guys' friends, that you can take to your offices. You want to train your AMs during the break and get them ready during the spring to help you kick some butt next year. So we talked about recruiting. We talked about how to run your cycle. Now they launch, right? So what do we do? They launch out. We want to see them do well, right? We want to see them go after Cabo. We want to see them have great success. What things are important to create great productivity? So that's what I want to talk about is with productivity and conversations, what needs to be happening. All right, so some of you guys' review, I want you guys shooting it out at me, all right? So they launch out. So I'm just going to say, so pre-launch, all right, while they're in training. So he talked about setting up your cycle and running it, but while they're in your cycle, all right, what are the things that are important in your cycle? I'd like Philippe and Jordan in here. I don't really want. What are the things that are important when you're running training to create productivity? All right, Paul.
Make sure everyone has 10 demos set.
Okay, 10 demo focus. All right, and by the way, that's where you guys can tell me anyone who has 10 demos. There's a separate contest for that, and doing a drawing for something, and whether it's a gas card, it's a koozie. You know, you guys can get a lot of cheap stuff at the Cutco store. Like, cheap stuff is good. Or even when you say we're gonna have a drawing for something free, it doesn't have to be something expensive. It could cost $2 or $3. You know, like people are just competing to win. You're like, you win a high five. All right, no. So 10 demo focus. What else to create productivity during training? Do you want to focus on?
Make sure you get PRs and have them focus on the top 5.
I'm talking about I want them to sell. Yep, there we go. Best 5 focus. Someone else besides Saito. All right, so best 5 first weekend. What's going to help create productivity for their first weekend? Like right off the bat.
Plenty of names.
All right, that they're seeing Max, right? So Max, good names list talk. All right, so making sure you guys are doing that and guiding them to get phone numbers, you know, from people that they know. So that's really important too. That you okay, so they made their list. They write their top 20 or 10 or whatever, and now you're telling them, hey, to rate them, you want to ask, hey, by the way, who or mention who has most of those phone numbers. I'm going to assume you have some of your top 20's phone numbers, but I'm going to also assume that some of them you don't have their numbers. Who has it? Is it mom? Is it grandma? Is it Tia? You want to make sure to, when you set your appointment with them, to go, hey, Tia, by the way, I also wanted to practice with Miss Barbara, and I wanted to practice with Miss Smith. What's their phone number? And get their number while you talk to them. That way you can call those people and set them up. Cool? So you want to coach them on doing that, because they're not like, I don't have numbers. You know, they don't call anybody. So who has their numbers? Can we call them and give them specific names of people you want to call while you're here? And then obviously they're going to get more numbers later. And you're like, hey, you'll get more numbers when you get home. You're getting that. So 10 demo focus, best 5 focus, Max, names list. What else is going to help create productivity right out of training?
Setting up your schedule. Setting up your schedule.
All right. Yep, and that goes in there. What else?
Teaching them 5 before, 5 after.
All right, 5 calls before, 5 calls after. Yeah. All right, so 5 calls before and after every demo. By the way, when you guys talk to them on their first PDI calls, you want to make sure, hey, did you make your 5 calls before, or they're headed to a demo? I'm like, hey, Raz, don't forget to make your 5 calls. Like when you park the car, make 5 calls real quick, go in, make 5 calls after. Get them in the habit of that right away. That's going to go a long way. All right. What else? I talked about earlier today within training that you want to dive in and look at their schedule for what?
Work in their first weekend.
All right. Who are they seeing? And so this goes, we want to go Max, but I'm going to also put, PCs in training. Like you want to make sure to check their schedule in those PCs and make sure who are they with. Really dive in. So yes, we're talking about Max, first weekend. I'd say the basketball analogy is really good. That's going to help a lot with making sure they're seeing the right people or booking the right people. But you've got to make sure that you're diving in those PCs, because even though you said it, even though you're focused on it, it doesn't mean it happens. All right. Yeah, you can take the speaker to the house. Where's the charger? Can you unplug it? This is it. All right. So anyway, so this is really important here. So you've got PC and training. Anything else in terms of pop and like them selling a lot, more productivity in their first weekend?
Skills checking on flows and getting back.
In their first week, yes, but while you're in the initial training, so we'll put that into first week, because we're going to talk about in their first weekend, and then we'll go over in their first week. So this is their fast start.
Make sure we drive home the concept of following the manual word for word.
Okay, yep, follow the manual.
Calling in.
Yes, that was one that I had on my list. Creating a desire to want to call in, all right? So are you creating a desire to call in, all right? Because the more they call in, the more you're going to be able to impact them. That comes from you telling stories about people that called in and had great results. And hey, Zyla was going to sell her pieces, called in, we upgraded to this. So any stories you guys can tell. You know, Angie sold a homemaker on her own, gave free scissors. She called in, and I was like, hey, by the way, if they do the signature, we can do $200 off or $400 for free. And her customer was like, what? And they did the signature with $400 of free stuff. You know, that happened to, actually, Taylor Max wasn't going to sell anything. And these are stories you guys can write down and share. But Taylor Max wasn't selling anything, called in to check in, you know, and I asked him what the customer liked. He told me a couple things. I said, awesome. Hey, jot this down and just show it to them. Finish up your demo and just say, hey, just so you know, if you wanted to start your collection, my manager said there's a really great deal on this, or you could do this. How does that sound? And his customer went, really? And his no sale was a $350 sale. All right, so make sure, I told you guys about Max Grigio earlier, who was bummed out they already have an ultimate. Lady ends up picking $800 of stuff. He calls in, order ends up being how much? $6,000, okay? Did all her holiday shopping and everything. So you don't know. So through these things of sharing, like no sales turn into sales, small sales turn into big sales, by the way, turn into bigger sales. Those are important too, because those kids that just sell a homemaker on their own think, oh, I'm glad I sold a homemaker. And I'm like, dude, if you would have called me, you could have sold a complete set or whatever. Manny Perez, we always have that issue with him. He'd sell homemakers by himself. He's like, yeah, grand, 1,500, like wouldn't call in. I go, dude, you don't know what you're doing. If you actually called in, you should be selling like 2, 3, 4, 5K orders. And I'm like, can you just try? Can you just try it? Before you write up the order, just say, hey, let me call my manager to see what packages or deals are happening. His next demo, Manny calls Mary Lou. Calls in, person's considering a homemaker or a signature set. She says, they like to cook. Yeah, they love to cook. Let them know if they do the complete set, we have blanky blank deal. Customer's like, that's awesome. She goes, hey, did you show her the flatware? Did you show her the cookware? Hey, go ahead and show her the book, dude. Let me know anything she likes. There's really cool bundles and packages. Calls back, they go back and forth. His order ends up being over $5,000, 4,300 CPO. He posts on Facebook, I will always call Mary Lou. She's a great, I don't know what the hell he thought. I just started laughing. And he goes, okay, I get it now. I'm like, hey, you would have sold $1,000 or $1,500, $1,600 on your own for sure. I go, but because you called and she helped me with that, you had a 4,300 CPO. So stories, teaching through stories, creating a desire for people to want to call in. Anything else? So we've got 10 demo focus, best 5 focus, Max first weekend basketball analogy, names list, 5 calls before and after, PCs and training, follow the manual, desire to call in. Any other things that we can do in training to help create productivity?
Creating the desire to go big and setting the expectation for
all the fast start stuff we talked about earlier. So desire to go big. So that these guys, when they have a demo cancel, or they want to book more, like they want to be booking more demos, because you'll have somebody like, oh yeah, I'll just do like 5, or did you do a good job talking about how people go out in their fast hour, and hey, work part-time, work hardcore now, work part-time later, and I always encourage you, by the way, in the training seminar, hey, regardless if you're working part-time or full-time, I always encourage people, if they can, take advantage of your fast start. You only get it once. All right, so it's a big fast start focus. It's like, hey, take advantage of it, win as much stuff as you can, hit as many promotions as you can, because then you could work part-time and make a full-time income. All right, so John Austin hit 25% in his first week on the job. All right, he hit 30% by his second week on the job. Check this out, right? First week, let's say he just went out and did 7 appointments. He had 5 sales, or let's even call it 4 sales, okay? times $400, which is the divisional average order, is $1,600. By the way, that's a $400 paycheck. And if he did the exact same thing the next week, that's a $480 paycheck. Isn't that awesome? All right. And so showing that, and I'm like, and by the way, he would sell more than 4 times, and his average order is higher than $400. So it's pretty cool. All right, but just showing things where they're like, oh dang. I'm like, so I always encourage everyone, if you're able, work hardcore at least your first 2 weekends with your fast start, and then work 1 or 2 days a week, and you can make some full-time income just like John Austin does. All right. So use examples like that when you guys are going through. All right. Now. And by the way, belief and confidence just in the program in general, in terms of like, do they like the products, your excitement, and that's where like the cutting clinic. So they need to have confidence in the and excitement with the actual products. All right, the more they have confidence and excitement in the products and prices, the better they're going to do. And again, that's all in your value building, which is, it's in your manual, right? You guys have your manual, just like reps have their manual. If you follow your manual, it does that for you. All right. And then just more, the rest of it's going to be more your conviction, your certainty, as you're going through there, that's going to create the above average type results. All right. You watch any top manager, there's just a certainty they have as they're coaching. So now they go into their first weekend. Cool. So they go into their first demos in their first weekend. What are things that are impacting their first weekend to create more sales their first weekend? What are things that you guys want to make sure that you're doing?
Every day for sure.
Okay. By the way, they leave training. If they're not booked up, I'm trying to just keep them here to make some more calls. But as soon as they leave training, I do a check-in call. I'm going to put call or text. All right, so I'll call my top 10. You might only have 10, so you call everybody. And then I'll text the rest, all right? But whoever are my top people, I want to get a live quick call. And it's, hey, Phil, you ready to roll? You're excited. By the way, you guys can go on my YouTube channel, and there's a first weekend PDI video. And actually, I'm doing this live. And I put the people on speakerphone, and you watch me go through some different calls with people. Like, hey, who's your first one? You're excited? Have they seen Coco? I'm like, no. Oh, my gosh. And just kind of getting them in the zone. But your top 20%, or for you, it might just be 5 people. I want to get that touch. If I can call all them, even better. And the rest, I'm going to go, hey, dude, kick butt on your demo. Don't forget to make your 5 calls before. Give me a shot from it so we can hook them up. All right. But if you can get that call with them, it's just getting them in the zone. So who's that first one with? You might talk to them earlier. I'm like, you excited? You nervous? You excited? And I'm like, hey, do they already have Cutco? I'm like, what do you think they're going to get? And just getting them. And if you already have that convo earlier, it's just like, you ready to go? Hey, don't forget, have fun. Because you're like, are you nervous? You're excited? Like, oh, a little bit of both. I'm like, just have fun. I go, mess up as much as possible. They're like, what? Well, yeah, just mess it all up. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just have a good time. Don't forget, Cutco sells Cutco. If you're excited about it, you have fun, you follow your manual, I said, they're going to fall in love with it. Like they feed off of your energy and your excitement and the products. So don't worry about doing everything perfect. Mess it all up, read from your manual so you get them the right information, and just have fun, all right? Don't forget to have fun. I'm like, all right. I'm like, call me from the demo so we can help you close your first sale. So just give them a call. If they don't have a demo right away, all right, it's important, obviously, that you know what their goals are. And in training, something I have them do is fill out a paper. Like, I know their goals. Like they wanted 3 for Saturday or 4 for whatever. So you're pushing them towards their goals. I'm like, hey, Derek, I know you wanted 3 for tonight, and you only have 1. And be like, by the way, you can still make it happen. Saturday evenings are one of the easiest nights to book immediate demos. If they're home, they'll usually do it. I'm like, they're either out or they're home. If they're home, they're like, yeah, come over. Because they're not really doing anything. They're like watching TV, chilling at the house, So it's one of the easiest nights. You see a neighbor and they're like home, the car is there, and like it's not a party. You can just walk over and you're like, hey, I'm working super hard with this company. Let them know what you're doing. I get paid. And you basically do your phone approach, Derek, is what you would do. You're like, I started with this company. Showing a product called Cutco as part of my training. I have to do some initial appointments. I'm doing it for the training. You don't have to get anything. I get paid just to do it. Just wanted to see if any of the nice neighbors could help me out. And literally just do your phone approach. You can just do it face-to-face. You know what? Jack Underwood did that when he got home. On his way home from training, he did that with a neighbor, sold him a vegetable peeler, but he hit his first sale. But guess what? That lady got him another immediate one with one of her friends that lived next door, and he sold a homemaker on that, his first promotion. So he could have waited home for his 8:30 demo, but instead he talked to a neighbor, got a demo, got another immediate one, and hit his first promo before his first scheduled demo. That's a true story. You can write it down. You can share it with people. But now like, oh, okay. I'm like, so hey, dude, go crush it. I'm like, let's see what we can create so we can still make those free demos happen. If a demo cancels, all right, what do you want to, what's the conversation? So they call you, Josh, and like, hey, Josh, my appointment canceled, but I still have my one at 8 o'clock. So the 6 o'clock just canceled. So I'm like, hey, my 6 o'clock had to reschedule, but my next one's going to be at 8. Okay, I just want to let you know.
What do I tell them?
Yeah.
I tell them, well, you can use that time for phone time and book more demos, or if you can book another one for that time, then that'll be good.
Okay, by the way, what he's saying is exactly what you want to do. You guys just want to make sure you work on delivery, okay? So if the conversation would go, they tell me that, I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Well, hey, 6 o'clock, you're planning on working anyway, right? So get that first. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, let's get some work done. I'm like, hey, I said, right now is a great time that you can make 5, 10 calls. I'm like, I would try to book an immediate. Just ask them. You have nothing to lose. Just be like, hey, by chance you're available right now? Be like, I'm trying to replace one that had to reschedule for tomorrow. The worst they can say is no, you book them for tomorrow, but they may be like, yeah, you were home, come over. Boom, and you just got an immediate one. All right, but if not, if you can still use that time and book 3, 4, 5 more demos ahead of you, that was still time worthwhile. Cool. So are you going home? Can you park at a McDonald's? What's the plan right now? I'm like, oh no, I'm home. Or yeah, I can pull over. I'm like, hey, let's crank some calls and see if you can book an immediate in that area. And that's always when someone's in a certain area, I'm like, hey, if you have other leads in that area, just park somewhere and make calls and see if you can land one in that area. You know, if not, then call people in a different area that you're headed to next. All right, but yeah, good. What else? So first weekend, so check, call, and then text the rest. And this is just a kind of a focused pump-up call. This will definitely help you out. And then make sure that you give guidance to hit their goals. If you don't have their goals, you need to get those, all right? So again, I'm like, hey, Jacob, I know you wanted 3 for today. You have 2. Hey, what's the plan to get that 1 more? And then give them ideas. Oh, hey, check with some of the neighbors. Hey, when you do your one right now at 6, see if maybe they have a friend that you can hop to right after, since your next one's not until 9:30 tonight, you know? They're just giving them ideas. And then tomorrow, I know you wanted 6, and you have 3 so far. What's the plan? Like, oh, I got to make more calls. Yeah, all right, cool. Well, hey, don't forget, 5 calls before, 5 calls after, so we can help you hit your number. I'm super excited to help you hit your first promotion, you know, and maximize your first paycheck, or, you know, whatever. So always like really excited to help you hit your promo, really excited to help you max out your first paycheck. When they drop a big sale, you know, you have someone drops 2, 3K order, their first order, I'm like, dude, do you know you just made $350 in like an hour? I'm like, whoa, I'm like, yeah, like pretty ridiculous. I go, hey, how cool would it be to have a comma in your first check? Have you even thought about that? And they're like, no, you know, like that'd be crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm like, I've seen it happen so many times, and every time I see it, I'm still like, what the heck? Like, but I'd be really excited about helping you hit that. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, we gotta load up. I'm like, you can't get complacent. It's easy to be like, yeah, I just had a $3,000 order. You know, like you're gonna have small orders, you're gonna have no sales, you're gonna have everything. You just want more demos. We can get more demos. Load up tomorrow, load up Monday. I'm like, you definitely have a shot to have a $1,000 paycheck. I'm like, we got to get you to 6K. I go, but you can't just count on 1 or 2 other orders like you just had. I'm like, if they happen, bonus. I go, but you want to focus on, can you complete, you know, 8 more appointments or 10 more appointments, you know, whatever it is. I'm like, yeah. All right. So there's a lot, and I'm going over this because there's a lot you can do to create. And I feel like a lot of managers are just kind of like, my people weren't as great. I'm like, well, did you keep them focused? Did you inspire them? Did you create vision? You know, like, did they believe like those things were possible? Do they believe people will book last minute demos? Do they believe bigger sales will happen? That comes from your conversations with them. That comes from you sharing stories of other people and creating vision with them. That doesn't just happen. You know, like the top managers, we don't just like, you know, collect CPO and like sometimes there's that random kid who just like has a wealthy family and drops some big stuff. Cool. But it doesn't happen every week all the time. Let me just tell you. All right. This is like one random kid here or there, maybe a couple times a year out of several hundred reps that we work with. So understand that the best manager, like they understand that we create a lot of what happens. All right. Being a PDI is not taking reports down. It's not getting what they sold. All right. Anybody can do that. PDI, person daily impact, person daily interaction, when you're talking to them and having conversations with them, all right, that's where you create. That's where you create. And so that's up to you to really dive in. And again, not just take report, but create vision, create excitement, get them to their next promo, get them thinking about that. Whatever the next thing is, that's up to you to bring those things up. Or just to go, what'd you sell? Okay, great. How many racks? Hey, nice job, dude. Rock your next demo. That's what I see a lot of new managers do. All right. And you're not going to create a ton like that. So anyway, on their first call, so big focuses I want you guys to write down for first weekend that need to happen is make sure their 2-day window is always booked up. All right. So are they booking up their 2-day window? You guys want to make sure that they're sticking, again, to their MAC customers, all right? MAC focus. In their first weekend, you want to promote advanced training. All right, and just how great it's going to be. They sold, oh my God, that's awesome. You haven't even been to advanced training. They haven't told, oh, dude, don't even worry. Let's keep working the numbers. I can't wait to advanced training, whatever it is. You need to be promoting and like reconfirming and be like, hey, you're all, you have that in your, you know what time you're coming here to that, right? Make sure you confirm everybody. Get them to freaking advanced training. All right, this makes promote, excite, and confirm, basically. But get them there. If you get them to advanced training, guys, even if they haven't sold crap, you can turn it around real quick, all right? But get them there. If you have bad advanced training attendance, it's really gonna hurt their fast starts, okay? So 2-day window, how are they for the next 2 days? MAC focus, promote AT. They need to have a minimum 2+ demos after AT and on Tuesday. It is a waste for them to come in to your advanced training and then have no demos after. They're not going to be able to implement anything you teach them, and it's just going to go down the drain. So you want them to go immediately with excitement and implement those things. So make sure. So 2-day window, MAC focus, promote AT, 2+ demos after AT and on Tuesday. And then I also like to have them start rolling. You don't have to, but just make sure this is happening. And then it's emotional management, all right? So emotional management is a lot of first weekend. Keep them focused. If they have big sales, I call you, Dan, I just sold my first complete set. How are you responding to that?
Oh, good job. That's awesome. Did you realize that you just made $300 on your first hour of the job?
It's pretty awesome.
Pretty legit. Now, have you ever got a comma in your paycheck, Kathy?
Nope, can't say I have.
Well, I can tell you right now that you are straight on track to do that. Just book a few more demos. How many recs did you get from that last?
I can go from there. Cool. And by the way, I'd say, hey, first of many. You know, I'm like, hey, nice job, dude. I'm like, first of many. What you don't want to do, and I see new managers do, is they're like, dude, that's awesome. And then that kid's like, oh, nobody does this, you know, and it makes it not normal. It's like, hey, dude, first of many. Be like, I remember my first one, or, you know, whatever. Like, relate with them. Be like, hey, great job. Be like, I can't wait to help you close your first kitchen. Be like, think about how exciting this is. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I can't wait to see you close your first kitchen. And just sharing where they're just thinking bigger. Like I tell wherever, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm like, Johnny the other day had a freaking 7K order, you know, 4K order, like sharing those things to be like, so nice job getting your first order over 2K. I'm like, I can't wait to see those bigger ones. And so now they're like, oh, that's cool, but it's like, oh, there's something bigger, you know, versus them thinking like they're the hot shit. On the opposite end, if somebody's struggling, you really want to pour into them. So they're like, oh, I didn't sell anything, or, you know, but someone, by the way, here's the exception to this rule. If it's a lower end kid who drops a grand order plus, celebrate the shit out of it, all right? So when you have a lower end kid and he's like, oh, I just sold a homemaker, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nice. And they're like, yeah. Because like there's no way in hell they thought they were going to do that. Like the kids who are hot shit, like, I got this. Oh yeah, my grandma's going to buy a complete set. You know, like when you're going through stuff, like, hey, what do you think they'll get? And they're like, they'll buy everything. Like my family is like those kids, I'm gonna have them thinking bigger. I'm like, great, you should be selling more. But that kid who's just like, I don't know, like maybe they'll get something. They're like super scared, and when you're done, they're like, I don't even know, like maybe like a fishing knife. And I'm like, dude, we'll give them a fishing knife free. I'm like, show them the stuff. I said, because a homemaker is only $25 each or $30 each is what it comes out. Don't forget, you want to make sure you break it down. And that's on this call when I'm like, hey, what do you think they'll get? They're like, I don't know, maybe a couple pieces. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, hey, we have some great starter sets, and this is a lower end kid. I'm gonna give some great starter sets. By the way, they're like $80, $90. Don't forget that. It's only like $20 a week. I said, which is $10 each. Okay, so don't forget that. I said, and even a homemaker, anyone who has a family, if they have a house, even if it's a little bitty house, they work full time, doesn't matter where, right? They can afford a homemaker. I said, now it might be a little bit more than they plan on. I said, but if they break it down, I go, don't forget, it's $250 for the month. I said, so it's like $60 a week that they're putting aside, which means $30 each. Someone works full time. Do you think if they really wanted something, they could spend $30? Yeah. I'm like, so if they're not comfortable with that, no big deal. We've got sets for everybody. We'll drop down and find what's best for them. But hey, make sure to show them that. And by the way, that's where some of those kids have gotten the confidence and they have closed it. Like, they're going to do the homemaker. I'm like, heck yeah. I'm like, there you go. And they're like, yeah. it's really cool, you know? And that was just because you had that conversation with them beforehand, broke it down, whatever it was, and that kid, oh, we're celebrating, all right? But just, you got to know. So with your middle and upper kids and your top 20%, do not celebrate big sales. Always be like, I make fun of my guys who are like, I sold a homemaker, I sold another homemaker. I'm like, what are you scared of Ultimates? I'm like, you scared of Signature? Like, no, nobody bought it. I'm like, yeah, they do. I'm like, you're just scared of it. They're like, no, I'm going to sell one. I'm like, oh, let's see. I'm going to call you homemaker, man. I'm like, can't sell an Ultimate. You know, and I just have fun with them. But you want to do that, you know, like just make it fun. So anyway, first weekend, you guys feel good there? All right. Now we go into their week. All right. And let me take a little picture. All right. So we have this. First week. So they come to advanced training. So you guys want to get them there. And then now, what are we doing in their first week to drive productivity and development? All right.
Getting them to the events.
All right. Well, let's go. Someone who doesn't know what the heck this means. So they leave advanced training. Advanced training is on Monday. So once they leave advanced training, what are we doing to drive productivity days 4 through 10? All right. So what's happening days 4 through 10 for productivity's sake? Chavez mentioned one earlier.
Skills check.
Yeah. Okay. So PC. Do they have their PC? So PC number 1 should be happening on Tuesday. You might do it Monday after AT. You might do it Tuesday. You might do it Wednesday morning. Okay. This is happening. The guys who are brand new, don't worry about it. We'll talk later. All right. So personal consultation. So numero uno is happening. So here you have skills check. This is definitely you're doing recs and you're doing closing if you have time. All right. And I like to just, by the way, you don't have to dive into the closing. You do want to dive into recs. But with closing, it's like, hey, close me real quick just so I can see what you're doing. So you can give them a quick fix. It's like, hey, make sure you write stuff down. Make sure you get that down, okay? And that might be it. Or you might be like, oh, shit. And they're doing something crazy. Get them on track of where they need to be to get their results. But recs, you guys can follow PC number 1. You have a manual for that. It tells you what to do. You want to make sure that's getting done. What else? And by the way, those skills checks are happening all the time. All right? We talked about that here. Like, they come to the team meeting on Wednesday. I'm like, close me, you know, or ask me for recs. Like, you're constantly like testing them to make sure they're getting it down. All right. And by the way, not just in their first week, like in their first month on the job, like every week, I want to see where they're at. I think I skills check you like 3 times this summer, or 4 times. I was like, closing check again? I'm like, yes, again. She's like, okay. I want to make sure you're super confident. I want you to be like, test me again. I got it. You know, like I want you super confident with it. So that's happening. What else is happening through this process?
Making sure that we get them the team meeting.
Okay, team meeting for sure. All right.
And team night out too.
Team meeting, team night out, Thursday phone jam. Everyone in their first week should have Thursday phone jam, unless they're a Seventh-day Adventist. They're Jewish, like they don't work Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Then they don't really need Thursday night phone jam. They should be doing demos Thursday night because they're not doing demos Friday night, Saturday, or they're out of town for the weekend. That's the only reason they don't have Thursday phone time. Everybody else in their fast start. Past your fast start, we're going to adjust it based on their goals. But anyone in their fast start has that blocked off when you do their schedule. Last demo by 4. All right, so you know how to block this off. Last demo at 4. And then the next demo you could do at 9:30 p.m. or 10. All right, this is blocked off to book the weekend. No demos. Do not mess with it. Do not do it. 1 or 2 demos is not worth them booking 10, 15, or 20 weekend demos. Everyone gets paid on Friday. Everyone's in good moods. It's selling time. Don't mess with it, all right? And don't get greedy like, oh, well, it's my top kid. I'm like, great, have him do it Friday. Like, I want that top kid to have 20 more demos. Now, if he's booked up, then I'm like, hey, once you get booked, if you're booked, then you can backtrack and see who can see you Thursday instead, and then you can fill their spot. But don't mess with your weekend, all right? So Thursday phone gym is super big. Also, Jacob mentioned this earlier, but daily PDI, all right? So something that's really important, guys, always, because us as coaches, what you're doing as a coach is accountability, okay? Accountability. So in order to have accountability, what do you need to have? Their goals. Thank you. I about ripped some people's heads off when I came home last month. So I'm like, how are we holding people accountable, but yet we have no goals? You have to know their goals. So when they're finishing training, we know their weekend goals. When they come on Monday to advanced training, you need to make sure you do their week plan. all right? So that has to be done in advanced training is their week plan. So before they leave, I sit down and go, okay, all right, let's look at your stuff, all right? And go on YouTube while you're driving to the church, okay? Go on YouTube. So when you guys are going through, you're looking at their schedule and you're like, okay, what do you have going on? What's studying? What whatever? Like plan out their week with them and get their goals for each day. So this day 0, this day 7, this day 2, this day 5, this day 4. Like have their goals and put those into what PDI or put those into whatever chart you're gonna have. You guys see back there, like the goals? You should have like all their, like how many do they want to do each day? You should have that somewhere, okay? So you know how to drive them. So now and I use Web PDI. I love Web PDI, and I recommend you all use Web PDI. So when I talk to them, I'm gonna go, hey, by the way, I know you wanted, so every day you're just helping them towards their goal. Like I'm like, hey, Veronica, great job getting your 3 for today. So let's say I'm talking to her Tuesday morning. Hey, great job getting your 3 for today. Tomorrow, I know you had wanted to have 4. I only have 2 in the system. Did you get those other 2? Oh yeah, I already booked those. I'm like, nice, girl. I'm like, hey, by the way, if you can squeeze 1 more in today, I'm like, I don't know if your schedule permits, but there's some people on the team that didn't hit their goal. If you're able to squeeze 1 in, it would be freaking awesome. And sometimes they go, I could probably squeeze 1 more in. I'm like, dude, that'd be so great. Or they're like, oh no, because I have a play tonight. I'm like, hey, no worries. Thanks for hitting your numbers. All right. Really appreciate you following through or, you know, carrying that out or whatever it is. Let's just make them feel good about that. And I'm like, and then how's Thursday looking? You're always looking at their 3-day window. How are their next 2 days looking? How are the next 2 days? So today, tomorrow, and the next day is what you want to make sure you're always looking at. Okay. So accountability. So we need to have their goal for the week because that way every day when you guys are touching base, I've seen veteran district managers on a day. So what's your goal for today? Like every day they're asking that. I'm like, what? Like that's the most horrible thing. Like you need to plan at the beginning of the week because then they can always change it based on how they feel. No, make a schedule that you know that they want to do. And then our job is to hold them accountable and help get them there. All right. Now, if something came up or they're behind, hey, how can we make up? How can we catch you up? We'll talk about those things. All right. But our job is really accountability throughout the course of the week, all right? Next thing, so we have Thursday phone jam, daily PDI, and then Saturday morning, I call it Breakfast of Champs. You can call it Advanced Training 3. You can call it whatever. I want their butts in the office. Unless they already have 8 for Saturday, 8 for Sunday, and 8 for Monday to finish their last 3 days of their fast start. Like they all have from 8 to 10 a.m. I have blocked off on Saturday morning for my guys because I want them to have that phone gym. We're going into the last 3-day stretch. And I have had reps sell 6, 8, 10 grand or more just in those 3 days. So I want their butts in here because even if they haven't done what they wanted to that week, they could still go out and hit 10K, you know, or hit 6K or whatever it is. I remember Ryan Garcia. He was only at $1,300 when he came in on Saturday morning. Came in. I had him watch, do a workshop, all right, steroids for your average order. He took 3 pages of notes, made some phone calls, booked some more demos immediately. By the way, his next demo sold over 3K. He was at $1,300 for the week off of like 5 or 6 sales, okay? Hadn't been able to do a ton, but went out and ended up finishing up over $6,000 for his fast start, by the way. He was pretty fired up, made $1 grand his first week, all right? But he was like, oh, that helped me so much. Like, he was so scared to close bid. He was like the piece kid. He was selling so many pieces. So anyway, Saturday morning Breakfast of Champs, all right? So that is, you know, a workshop, which you could do a video and phones to make sure they finish, you know, the last 3-day stretch. And this is where you want to make sure you're promoting the last 3 days, how big it can be, what people can do. You can write these down. Jose Mastery sold over 8 grand in his last 24 hours from Sunday evening to Monday night, sold over $8,000, all right, and hit 15K. He really wanted to hit 15K for the scholarship. Anthony Chili, this guy right here, was at $3,000 on Sunday night. Last day on Monday, sold $7,000. Sarah LaFelig, her last day, sold $7,000 to hit 15K for her fast start. Those are a couple stories there, okay? But you want to talk about finishing strong. You want to give examples. Do not give up until the last moment. So these people need to be talked to each morning. Yeah, you have training on Thursday. Yeah, you have training on Friday, right? The next class is coming in. But before that, you need to make sure that you're having a conversation live, John Austin, with your top 20%, especially your gunners, ideally with everybody, all right? But if not with the other guys, you're shooting them a quick text, all right? Always talk live to your top 20%. If you can, talk to all of them, but I know sometimes you will be pressed for time. For example, Thursday morning, you have training at 10 a.m., right? Maybe you had a breakfast club in the morning. some of the guys were in, or you were working with one of your fast starters who's like going for like 10 or 15 or $20,000 for his fast start, right? And so you're like, dude, come in, I'm gonna help you out. He's like at 8K right now. So you're working with him that morning from like 8 to 9, but like you still need to talk to your other like top fast start. Like you want to talk to all your fast starters and your top 20% from your team. So you've got your top 3-4 studs from your team. You need to make sure you always know what's happening with them. And then your fast starters, you want to make sure you talk to all of them. But again, I might not have a chance to talk to all. So what's my priority? My priority are my top 20%, period. Top 20% of training class, top 20% of my team, and then the rest of my fast starters, and then the rest of my team, okay? So if you want to write that down, that's your priority when you're doing PDI on Thursday or Friday, you're going into training. So repeat that to me. Who's number one priority? Top 20% of who? Who's first? Fast starters. Then it's who? Top 20% of what? The rest of the team. All right. Then it's who? Rest of fast starters. And then it's who? Rest of team. All right. So this is the order that you would contact people in the morning or whatever when you're like short, like you know. And again, these guys, ideally, these are all live conversations. If you can get live with these, great. If not, then you shoot these guys all text. Hey, going into training, let's kick butt today. Keep me updated on stuff going on. Call your team leader, and I'll show you guys how to split those people, you know, your top people, to have like little mini teams in your office. And then you'll say, hey, I'll see you tonight at the phone jam. Now, later, once training's happening, maybe you have a rep doing the day one demo, or someone says, like now during that time, you can make a couple quick calls to some of your people to make sure they're getting there, or you can have someone help you, one of your reps that comes in, hey, can you do me a favor? Give them what to say and have them call these people. Hey, can you call these guys real quick and just let them know, like, we're all coming in tonight. We got Thursday night phone jam. We're going to team night. Like, yeah. You know, and like they feel excited too. Like, hey, I'm helping Jacob at the office. You know, and they'll go through the list. He just wanted me to make sure to let you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. Write it down. You'll be surprised some people will do better PDI than you do. And they'll nail everything that's on the list. Like, all right, dude, we'll see you later. You know, and they'll get people there. So just tell them what to do, and then they can help you out with that. All right? So that's real big. So any other additions to this, anything that might have slipped my mind as we're going through here? Veterans pilot is going through driving productivity within their first week. Because, by the way, the first week sets the tone. Like, it sets the tone for their career. And if you can really get it right their first week and make sure that you're working with them properly, having the right conversations, it makes the rest of their career so much easier. So any other comments and or questions with this?
Make competitions.
Okay, yeah, competition is definitely good, and you can have fun. Keep them updated. By the way, you need to make sure you know your people, you know, because if someone's like not a competitive person and you're like, this person's beating you, or if there's someone that gets discouraged, because some people get like Anthony Paz, I know that I tell him like, yo, Randy's kicking your butt right now. He's like, what? And he like wants to work harder. But then if I told somebody else and I was like, hey, Donovan, so-and-so's been like, they are? Oh. You know, and like they'll get discouraged. So make sure like when you're doing like competitive type stuff, like you can always make fun, friendly competition, like boyfriend, girlfriends, best friends, like those are always easy ones. And it's like, dude, you're going to let them beat you? And some of them are like, no. And then some are like, it's okay. And I'm like, don't be like that. You can't let them beat you. Girls are better than boys. You know, whatever. But you can have some fun with it. But brother-sister competitions are always fun. And you can always bring those up. And boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, best friends. But then when it's people they don't know, just make sure you know who you're talking to, because some people are competitive as crap, and that does rock. And by the way, I might just say it to you, but I don't say it to the other person. I'm like, so-and-so's beating you. Like, what? And the other person's like, hey, keep doing a great job. Keep working hard. Because all they need is encouragement, because they thrive off of encouragement. And so some people are, you know, they're motivated in a positive way, through positive reinforcement. And some people are motivated through, bro, are you going to not get anything done? You know, and like challenging them, like, you can't do this. That's how they get challenged and work harder. So you learn that. That's more advanced, but you start learning those things. You just want to be careful when you're doing that. But is this good? Is this helpful for you guys? All right.
Especially that right there. Top 20, and then the rest of it.
Okay. And that was my last thing before I bring Philippe to wrap it up, is I wanted to get from you guys, from going through this exercise. I know I spoke fast and we went through in training, we went through first weekend, and we went through within their first week. What are the things that are going to drive productivity? What are things that stood out that was like, oh man, like good reminders, ahas, guys who already ran offices, and then other people that you noticed there that you might not have thought about, are just like good refreshers?
For me, it's the, I mean, the most money thing was the Thursday phone jam. I kind of it all sometimes. And also the weekend Saturday morning.
Okay, so finishing up. There's day 4 through 10, just finishing up.
Yeah, it's just like always.
You know what? When you really
I felt overwhelmed, and I didn't follow up with everyone, and it kind of it could have killed some people's momentum at the very end.
And when you can get them through their whole fast start, that's where you retain reps and you retain stronger reps, you know? And if you fall off, they could quit, or they could, you know, like you have a much higher chance of them falling off if you're not communicating with them in their second weekend. So if you get them through their fast start and then have that PC right after, that's where you start having layers of representatives, all right? But if not, you're kind of burn and churn, you know? But if you can get them all the way through and manage them properly, you develop layers and you strengthen your team.
Big thing for me was the making sure that their first weekend was completely clear from the previous one, previous board, and just made the events. That's huge because I was consistent with the PDI getting in touch with all these people, right? But I never made the effort to get them to AT1 team meeting at Team Red Out, right? Saturday phone.
And by the way, I connect these because to me it's the same thing. AT2 is always right before the team meeting. 1 hour before the team meeting always is AT2. So AT2 is where we teach them extra phone tips. And they're learning like just going through phone stuff to help them with acquaintances, to help them for their second weekend with people that they know of them.
I always felt their bullshit.
No. By the way, in any other jobs require them to be there like every day. You need to fight to get people to events. Like, oh, well, I have this. In the interview, you told them, we come here twice a week. So in their first week, when I'm training them, I go, hey, you guys know you come here when? Twice a week. Do you guys remember what days? They usually say Sundays, Wednesdays. Cool. This week, since we're here, you know, and we're here Thursday, Friday, we're here Friday, Saturday, we're going to give you Sunday so you can just be in the field and maximize your paycheck. So we're going to see you Monday instead, and then we'll regroup Wednesday. So I'll actually meet with you an hour before the rest of the team gets here to give you guys some extra tips to really help you crush the rest of your fast start. And then the rest of the team will be here for the team meeting. Sounds good? And then after that, we see you guys twice a week, you know, PSP. And our top guys are here more than that. They're usually here 4, 5, 6 times a week. You'll see people coming around all the time because they usually get more done here. So those of you going for 10K, and I tell them that in the beginning, those going for 10K, I'm going to see you like every day your first week. And then after that, I'm going to see you twice a week, you know. But if you're serious about going for 10K, I should see you in here every single day. You're like in here in the morning, and then you roll and go do your demos. You know, my exceptions are my guys who live an hour away. We Skype every morning. You know, they get their work done, and then I still see them come by the office for main events. And Thursday night phone jam, everybody's here when they're going for big fast starts. Like that's part of, oh, you want to go for 10K? You want me to coach you? Cool. I put it in their schedule. Everybody's here on Thursday night. That's not an exception. There's no way around that. If I'm coaching you to go for 10K, you have to have that open and you have to be at the office because that way I can coach them, I can drive them, I can make sure they're getting booked. I can also give them tips to help them for their weekend. When I'm done with training and everything, I can sit there and actually work with them. I can listen to them, make phone calls, and just make sure I'm not leaving it up to chance. I have control. They're right in front of me and I can help them out and fix anything that's wrong. All right. What else? And other takeaways, reminders?
I think a good one too is, you know, like in their fast start, that's when they're most excited when they're hitting the promotions is collecting names throughout their fast start, like when they come in on Monday for advanced training.
Are you talking about rep driven?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and so and I didn't include that on here, but yeah, in terms of recruitment, oh yeah, the rep driven. So I was just focusing here on just like sales productivity, but on the recruitment side, heck yeah. That first week, every event, we're collecting names in the rep driven process.
Like, that's a big thing. Like for me, I kind of waited too long to collect, and like in the beginning of my branch, I started doing that towards the back half of the branch, and that's when we really started taking off with our names.
And then summer's over.
Yeah, and then summer's over. It's like the last couple of weeks, you know.
You're like, I got it. It's
like,
over. Yeah, I got to the end of my branch. I'm like, can we press rewind? Because like, I think I got it now. Chavez.
Telling stories really stood out to me, just like making it relatable for the rep to understand like this has been done before. Nobody likes to be first, nobody likes to be last. So understand that. And then for me, another thing that really stood out was making the desire to call in, because I mean I'm sure you've seen it multiple times, but you'll close bigger orders and you'll have more confidence in the rep. And also like having the rep call after the appointment is over once they're in the car, because
debrief it.
no matter what, if they sold or if they didn't sell, if they didn't sell, then you got to get their energy back up for the next appointment. If they did sell, then you've got to congratulate them and have them keep that energy.
Also get their head back on
Mm-hmm.
the clouds. Yeah.
For sure. So I want you guys, before Philippe comes up here and wraps this up, I want to take 2 minutes for you guys to look through your notes, all right? And I know I didn't post this up in the group yet because I was over there working with the AM, so I'll just post this up here because I don't know that you guys got to take notes on this. If it shows up here with the rep driven, but I will post that up. But I want you guys to take a couple minutes to go through your notes from today, all right? Because again, when we have these meetings and we go through a bunch of stuff, it's easy to have all this info and forget some things that might have been really important or game changers for you, all right? And so I want you guys to look through your notes right now, and I want you guys to write down what were your 3 to 5 biggest takeaways from today, things that you need to impact, really make sure when you run your cycle, when you guys go into stuff that you're implementing in order to get the results that you want to get. So let's take a couple minutes real quick and go through your notes, all right? And identify what are your biggest takeaways. This is the rep driven, which I didn't get to put up.
One of my things I like.
No, hold on. I'm going to give like 3 minutes for people to think and quiet.
Okay.
And then you can go first.
Good. Good. That was good.
Just so people can think. Go through your stuff. And actually, something I don't think I've mentioned before, which I do want to mention, this is something I'll do when I go to SLC or I go to meetings, is I make a list of takeaways, like good reminders. I was like, oh, man. And then like a to-do list. And I make a to-do list. So as the event's going on through the event, because we have 3 days of meetings, I'm constantly writing down what were takeaways and what are things that I need to do when I get back to make sure that I'm getting the most out of the event, because that way you guys can really implement those things. And it's not just a great meeting with great info and then you don't remember any of it, but you're actually using that info to help impact your business. That makes a really big difference, all right? I just posted the rep-driven strategy in, the wrong group. We'll do that again. All right, so Austin, you can start us off and we'll just go around the room here. So quickly.
Big thing was implementing the 7 steps to a sale. Like I've always known it and like known how to teach it, but because it's not like specifically in the training outline or anything, a lot of times I overlook it and forget it. So really like how you break it up and relate it to what's in the demonstration and everything as well. I really like that. I want to make sure that I implement that well.